Wait, they wrestled in CZW? The new effing show Jerry Lynn retired from professional wrestling in 2013 after having a very successful career spanning 25 years. Jerry Lynn has wrestled in dozens of promotions, but his work in ECW, WWE, and TNA were his most notable work, and some of his fans out there may not realize that just 1 month before his TNA debut, he was wrestling for the Junior Heavyweight Championship in Combat Zone Wrestling. Now, Jerry Lynn's time in CZW was very limited. In fact, he only took part in 2 matches. His debut match was at Out With the Old and In With the New in March of 2002, where he wrestled the CZW World Champion, Justice Payne, in the main event. Payne was 8 months into his championship run when he crossed paths with Jerry Lynn in this non-title match. The match was, it was decent, but it was nothing to write home about. It appeared both guys didn't really click very well in the ring, and there was just a lot of things that drew away from the match and pulled the crowd out of it. I mean, Steve Rhymes came down to the ring twice to distract Jerry Lynn, and then after a ref bump, out came Nick Gage, who had beef with Payne at the time. He connected with his choke breaker on Payne, allowing Lynn to get up and hit his cradle power driver and get the win, but there was a lot of confusion at the end. The ref Brian Logan handed Jerry Lynn the title even though it wasn't a title match, and then a lot of guys came out from the back. You had the Backseat Boys, you had Nate Hatred, you had a lot of guys come out, and while all that was going on, Jerry Lynn and Steve Rhymes battled to the back, and I don't know, the best way to describe the match in Lynn's debut was, it was just messy. Luckily, his second match was much better. 2 months later, in May of 2002 at High Stakes, Trent Acid came out and claimed that he had nobody to defend the junior heavyweight title against. And then just minutes later, out came Jerry Lynn, to the crowd's surprise, to challenge Acid for his title. The two fought over 10 minutes in a very good match, seeing the veteran take on one of the best indie wrestlers at the time while he was in his prime. Funny enough, near the end of the match, there happened to be another ref bump, and that led to the cradle pile driver and yet more interference. This time, Justice Payne came out, and he hit the Pain Thriller on Lynn. After that, Trent Acid got up and landed the Yakuza kick and pinned Jerry Lynn, successfully defending his title. I'm not really sure if the interference was supposed to lead to another match between Payne and Jerry Lynn, but the very next month, Lynn signed with TNA and would go on to have a great run there. So out of the 2 matches, Jerry Lynn's match with Trent Acid was far better and definitely worth checking out. And the crazy thing to think about is this was in 2002. Jerry Lynn was a 14-year veteran at the time, and he would go on to wrestle 11 more years. He may have just passed his prime, but regardless, he was still an amazing talent, and CZW fans were fortunate enough to see the new effing show inside the Combat Zone. Hey, I really hope you guys just enjoyed the video, and I want you to keep in mind that all the footage you just seen was purchased by me via SmartMarkVideo.com. Guys, don't be a dick, don't be a pirate. Pay the guys that work hard to do what we all love. Thanks.